and informed perspectives.
It's meant for everyday people to understand, and you don't have to stress about technical terms and stuff. They just say it like a real person.
WSIC News Talk Now.
All right, good morning, Cornelius. Welcome to About Town on WSIC. If you're listening to us on the airwaves or watching the live stream, you're probably thinking to yourself, that's not Mayor Woody Washam, and you're right. I am your guest host today, MaeLynn Joyner, Communications Manager for the town of Cornelius, and I am joined by Captain Steve Davis and and Lieutenant Vaughn Griffin. Thank you guys for being here today.
Absolutely, thank you.
Happy to do it.
All right, well, we're going to jump into a conversation all about the police department here in just a moment, but Mayor Washam has asked that I tell you all a little bit about me and what it is that I do, because communications is behind the scenes most of the time. Our communications department at the town is relatively new, and we're responsible for all sorts of things. The textbook definition of what we do is that we determine how information is divided through written, spoken, visual mediums, and we try to get information out to residents in the best way possible as often as we can. Whenever there's something that you need to know, I'm usually the person who decides how you find out about it. So every day looks a little bit different. I run the town's social media accounts. I organize our community events. If you've ever been to a town talk, you've probably seen me there. I work on some of our awareness campaigns like Heads Up Cornelius, which is our pedestrian, cyclist, and motorist safety campaign, and Leash Like You Mean It, which is our leash compliance ordinance campaign. I also write the biweekly town newsletter, Keeping Up with Cornelius, which is your best way to stay informed on town happenings. And I work with each of the departments on developing strategies and content to better inform you all. One of those departments is the police department. And I would like to know a little bit about you guys and how you joined the Cornelius Police Department.
Awesome. Well, it's going to be hard to follow up on that, I believe, with all the stuff that you do. I'm still trying to take notes on how to expand on what it is that I do.
It's taken me 3 years to figure out what I do.
My name is Steve Davis. I'm a captain here at Cornelius. I actually started with the department in '96, so it's been about 27 years I've been here. Growing up, it's really the only thing I ever wanted to do. I had a cousin who was a police officer in Martinsville, Virginia, and as a kid, when we would visit them, he would, let me play with his duty belt and his handcuffs, and I guess that just kind of sparked that whole passion for law enforcement. And fast forward, a few years, and had the opportunity in '96 or '95 started basic law enforcement training. I was fortunate enough to be offered a position here in Cornelius, and absolutely love it. I couldn't imagine being a police officer anywhere else.
That's great. What about you, Vaughn?
So my career feels a little bit different. So I started out in hospitality and food service and did that for numerous years. I always had a curiosity, I guess, about law enforcement. I'd see police officers come into the restaurant and we'd talk and they'd hang out and cut up and eat free food. Of course, we get free food. So eat free food. So it was curious to see what they'd say and kind of the stories they would tell. In 2006, I finally decided to go to BLET, which is basic law enforcement training, at Central Piedmont Community College, and I got a certificate there and went to Cornelius for an interview. I didn't even know Cornelius existed, actually. And I lived in Huntersville, so I was like, where's this Cornelius place at? So right next door. So came here in 2007, got hired, and I've been here ever since, and it's been a great move for me. The department as a whole is great. The people I work with are very good. With the exception of one person. No, it's great as well.
Yeah.
But we love the community, love the agency. It's a great town.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's great to hear. I'm glad that you both have been here so long, and it's nice to see people really dedicate themselves to law enforcement.
Absolutely.
So I'll tell you, 27 years. One of the things that I realized a couple years ago, actually last year, I have been working with the Cornelius Police Department longer than some of our officers have been alive.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yes.
So
it's longer than I've been alive.
yeah. Well, thank you for that.
I was going to say, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I'll keep that to myself next time. Yeah, well, I know, Steve, you said that you're a little bit of a historian whenever it comes to the police department. Can you tell me a little bit more about that and all the information that you've gathered on the history of CPD?
So I think you were correct when you said a little bit.
An amateur historian.
It is something that has become a passion for me. And actually, Chief Balcom had the idea of having a chief's wall at the police department of our past chiefs. And And what I realized is we really didn't know who all of our past chiefs were, which led me to start researching to find out who our past chiefs were. But also, I started learning about the history of the police department, which actually became more of a passion than the past chiefs. And so I've spent hours collecting just newspaper articles, talking with people about how the police department has grown and some of the things that have happened through the years to get us to where we're at now. The police department has changed tremendously. We were saying earlier, it's like 92 or 93, there were 8 police officers in the town of Cornelius.
Hard to imagine.
And while that is 30 years, we've gone from 8 police officers to 65 now.
Mm-hmm.
So in that span of time is not a great deal for that type of growth.
Mm-hmm.
So that was just one of the really interesting things to find. An article in the 80s where all 4 police officers quit, or 5, because of a leash law that the town enacted, and it was going to be the police department's responsibility to enforce, the leash laws and catch dogs that were running loose. And the town really just gave the officers a hard time. You say, hey, there's a dog there, you need to go get it, and they're like, we're done.
Yeah.
So
there are only 4 of you. I'm sure you have better things
right,
to do.
exactly. Yes. So there's just a ton of information that I'm trying to put together, and hopefully at some point we can get that information out to the public somehow, whether it be in a forum like this or just in articles or something. I do a monthly article for Lakeside Living Magazine, and I've put some of it in there. I think it's interesting, so I guess in my mind everybody else is interested in it too. So.
Well, I am, and I'll certainly start reading your articles now that I know that's in it.
I have 3 fans. 3.
Is Vaughn one of them?
No.
I was going to step in and say, probably not.
No. He will tell you he is, but he's not.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's really interesting, and I do hope we can find an avenue to share some of that history, because like I was telling you all before we hopped on the air, so much of our history just gets put to the wayside. Some people moved to Cornelius, and it seems like this town just appeared overnight, but it's really been decades of growth and improvement and change. And you two have seen some of that in your 10 years here. But quick question for you. What's your favorite part of being a police officer at the Cornelius Police Department?
Wow. I think that, I guess kind of and this is going to sound cliche and things, but I grew up in a very small community. We weren't a town. We were just a place on the map. And, it was in the country. It was in Virginia. And it's just a different way of life there, and we looked after each other all the time because that's who we relied on. You relied on your neighbors if you needed help or if you needed anything. And, for me, being in law enforcement is the ability to help somebody, to do something for somebody else. And the unique thing about this job is even after 27 years, you still have that ability every day to make a positive impact in somebody's life. Yeah. And it could be little things. I've seen people that are so appreciative because you were able to unlock their car. To them, that is a big thing. Absolutely. So I think for me, it's as far as being a cop, it's just that ability to make a difference in somebody's life and have that interaction is probably what I would consider one of the things I enjoy most about my job.
And that's what I hear a lot from people who choose to work in government, specifically local government, whether it's in administration or it's in the police department or fire department. It seems like everyone who chooses this career path really just wants to help out to the best of their ability. Yeah,
I feel like it's a calling. I feel like it's something that you have to want to do to be successful. And if you don't have that passion, I don't think you'll be as successful at it.
Yeah, definitely. And you can see that shine through in the work you all do, each and every day. But we'll get to your favorite part in just a second, Vaughn. We're going to hear a quick message from some of our sponsors, and we'll be right back with About Town.
More About Town with Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam is coming up on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Asheville native Kanan Cox is performing Friday, August 25th at Kane Center for the Arts. Get your tickets while they last. Show starts at 8 p.m. Visit canearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. richardscoffeeshop.org. Want to showcase your music skills? Richard's Coffee Shop and Military Museum in downtown Mooresville has their music jam sessions every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to noon. Richard's Coffee Shop, located in downtown Mooresville. For more info, visit welcomevets.com. Ever dreamed of seeing Freddie Mercury and Queen live? Absolute Queen, a Queen tribute, will be playing at Boatyard Eats in Cornelius Friday, August 18th. Tickets are $20 online. Enjoy live music and at a fun venue. Absolute Queen, Friday night at Boatyard Eats in Cornelius. To buy tickets, visit boatyardlkn.com. Ever wonder what Mooresville was like in 1873? The historic downtown walking tour is a self-guided tour that will take you on a stroll through Mooresville's past to learn about the history of the town. Featuring 18 stops, the tour begins and ends at the corner of Main Street and Center Avenue. It should take 1 hour to complete. For more info, visit downtownmooresville.com. What would it be like to play glow stick bingo? Come check out the Bingo Glow Party at the Statesville Civic Center. Tuesday, August 22nd, doors open at 6 p.m. All games will be played under blacklight. Glow stick bingo at the Statesville Civic Center. For more info, visit civiccenter.statesvillenc.net. Have an event you'd like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
I'm Holly Vale with your WSIC forecast. Mostly sunny today with a high near 87. Tonight looks mostly clear with a low around 66. Friday looks sunny with a high near 87. And mostly clear skies for Friday night with a low around 62. We'll have sunny skies for Saturday with a high near 85. And clear skies for Saturday night with a low around 64. Sunny and 91 for Sunday. I'm Holly Vale from WSIC's Weather Center.
Hey folks, Ryan Scott here, Randy Marion Chevrolet Statesville. Let me tell you about this summer sales event going on. I tell you, Silverados, Colorados, we've got them discounted during this event. It is hot outside. The deals are even hotter at the Chevrolet store in Statesville. If you haven't seen the new Colorado, folks, you owe it to yourself. Come check that truck out. Take it home today. Come see the Silverado, whether it's a crew cab, double cab, regular cab, we got them in stock. Four-wheel drive, two-wheel drive, pick the trim, take it home today. Your dealer is Randy Marion Chevrolet in Statesville, right on I-40.
Call now to speak with Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam at 844 Studio 4. It's About Town on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
All right, welcome back to About Town. This is Captain Davis with the Cornelius Police Department. We're talking about the town, the police department, and we have, so I guess now I'm technically the guest host.
You are.
For the guest host. The guest host had to step out of the room for a minute, so I will be now the guest host for the guest host.
You're doing a fine job.
For the mayor. But luckily, our guest host, our original guest host, is back in the studio. And I'm going to let her take it away.
MaeLynn, we missed you a whole lot.
I missed you guys more.
But that's a lot of pressure you put on me just right off the bat. I mean, I was not expecting guest host. I was prepared to answer questions or whatever, and I got thrown on the spot.
Guest host, Steve Davis.
So I'm going to add that to my resume, though. So I guess it worked out.
I appreciate you taking over, and I don't know if you've welcomed everybody back.
I did. I said, welcome back to About Town.
Thank you.
And from there, I didn't really know what to say. That's all I had time to prepare for.
You could have gone way more into the history of the town, all your articles. Yeah. Okay, well, we left off learning a little bit about Steve's favorite part about being a police officer with Cornelius Police Department. Vaughn, what's your favorite part?
Let's see. I have actually two parts. I can kind of echo what Captain Davis is saying as far as it is a calling to do this job. I enjoy every aspect of the job. From the time that I've been here, it seems like the time has gone super fast, but no day is the same. As much as we try to look at days being the same or Monday through Friday type work schedules, when I come in, I can see somebody at the gas station that's pumping gas and have a conversation and have a totally different conversation 5 minutes later with somebody else. And then the next minute, we're going to arrest somebody or whatever it may be. So nothing's the same. I like that diversity that it offers as far as an agency and what we do here as an officer. But I also like, of course, our community is huge to us and to me. You know, I'm small town as well, so the people we knew in town we knew as family and friends, and here it feels just like that. when I go into the food line, I go into the food line every day, like every day. So when I go to the food line, I will see the managers, the workers, the people that come inside, and I'll talk with them. I'll go shopping around the food line for my dinner that night, and while they're shopping around for their dinner that night, we'll have conversations between the aisles. They have comments or questions, I'll ask them or ask for them or have them for them. So I enjoy that engagement as well. I also like the officers, the staff that we have to deal with every day, which is great. We have a great staff as far as our town hall staff, our police staff, communications, lake enforcement, animal control, all these people, these individual people that come together to make us, our department, which is great. So I enjoy that aspect of my job very much. So
I will say we do have a very friendly police department. And I'm not proud to admit this, but I was once pulled over by a Cornelius police officer, and I had a 5-star experience. It was very pleasant.
That's good.
No, you all are really great. And I think that's one of the things that differentiates Cornelius Police Department from some of the other departments in our region. Not to say that the other agencies aren't also great, but it really feels like we have this emphasis on building these really strong relationships within our community with residents, as individuals.
Yeah.
Can you guys speak to what you think differentiates the police department from some of the others in our area?
Well, I think what we were just talking about, and their concept of community policing, I mean, it's so important to us, it's on our patches. We are community policing driven, and we have been community policing driven since I started here in '96. So this is not a concept that just came about within the last 5-10 years. This has been a concept that we've been doing for years and years. And the fact that we are a small agency kind of helps with that. It's that small town policing. But that has been one of the biggest reasons we are successful here. And honestly, with Chief Balcom taking over, another thing that is really beneficial for us that sets us, in my opinion, is some of the concepts that he's put into play, and we have our new motto, which we talked about earlier, family strong, community driven, and family strong really focuses on each other. We've always focused on the community, and it's always been important, and we've always within the agency you have relationships and things like that, but that's going to another level now where we're focusing on family strong within the agency, taking care of each other, helping each other, supporting each other. Because any kind of, public safety, even military, you have to deal with things, and sometimes those things aren't great. And we have always had a tendency just to deal with it ourselves, or really not deal with it. We just kind of bottle it up. Because you didn't reach out for help. You didn't really say that. And that's wrong. And it's been wrong forever. And so we're really pushing this idea of, hey, we're going to be there for each other. And it's okay to talk to your fellow coworker. It's okay to say, I've got problems. It doesn't have to be things that happened, here that you go to, a call for service and it's something kind of traumatic. It could be something going on at home. So, family strong for us is that we're here for each other. And I think that, from my experience, that's something that's very important and that we're really kind of pushing, and I think that really sets us apart as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that you can really see those relationships within an agency, in the community, whenever you're actually out policing. You can tell when people are friends. You can tell when people like working with each other, when they do have a strong relationship, and when they can trust one another.
Right.
And that really makes the difference in a police department. You want to know that officers have each other's backs, that they're going to be there for each other on and off the clock. It's okay to have a hard day. And I know that, our police department especially has been really focused on promoting mental health for officers, because so many people think that police officers, they go into this line of work and they're not human, they don't have these feelings, but, you come out of a bad day and you have the same feelings that everyone else does.
Yeah, well, the comment has been made in the past, with things like that, well, that's what they signed up for. And it's not what we signed up for. That's not why a police officer signs up to do this. It's just it's a byproduct of what we have to deal with, and it's not something that we should have to deal with. And it's definitely a culture that we're trying to change.
Absolutely. And even if those are part of the job, those hard days are part of the job, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't have the resources to deal with the aftermath of it. And I think that Chief Balcom has done a really great job of putting some emphasis on that and letting you all know that he is there for you as much as you are there for each other. So that new motto really does hit home. You know, the family strong, community focused. The community focused part really has always been there. It seems like people in our community love our police officers. You know, I never see people not waving at you, smiling at you guys, stopping you on the street to have a quick chat.
Right. Yes.
And that's really important for our community.
I agree. I agree with that totally.
Yeah, Vaughn, any thoughts?
You can't say I agree with everything you just said.
Ditto.
That's the whole point of this is for conversation.
You guys did a great job there. That's perfect. I have nothing to add. So. But I agree. Our mental health is very important, and that's what I think Chief Vaughn definitely is pushing these days. And it's always been important. We just kind of bringing a light to it at this point in time. Anybody that we had new officers that come in, and I sit with them normally within the first week or two, and we try to stress that in them coming into the agency itself. We want them to be the best officers they can be. Whether that be with us or another agency, we want you to be the best fit for us as well. We want you to be in that great space, that great headspace too, to do the job that you can come to do and do it well. We need you at your best 100% of the time. So where that means you have to take a few days off to relax, be with your family, do things like that, you need to do that. We still are, like you said, we're still people. We're not just officers. We have to go home each night to our families, kids, wives, husbands, all that good stuff. So very important for our mental health.
Yeah.
As far as the community goes, what was the first question you asked? I forgot about. The first question you said was, how do we view it differently than other agencies, I guess?
Yeah, what differentiates the Cornelius Police Department?
So I think for me, it's a personal touch. So you may not get that at larger agencies or different agencies, but for us, we each have our own uniqueness about us. So I come from getting hospitality and background as far as restaurant and food service and hotel management type stuff. So I have that aspect of things. Some other people come from mechanic side of things or car dealership type stuff or whatever it may be. They have that side of things. And we meet the people in the community that have those same specific unique techniques and backgrounds. It's great to have that conversation with them because we then relate better to them and we can actually convey thoughts better and they understand us and we understand them better. That just makes for a better communication between the PD and the community itself. So I love the diversity we have. That personal touch that kind of brings it all in. And again, it's your personal touch, mine. It makes a whole agency of different officers and different individuals at that point in time. So I love that.
Absolutely.
About us, for sure.
You all have big personalities. I'm sitting in the room with two very big personalities right now. And I'm glad you guys are here. But that can be hard to manage sometimes. And it is really good to hear that an agency of your size really does have all of these friendships, these relationships built. How many officers are currently staffed? You said 65?
So we have 65 approved positions. That includes 2 SRO positions that were just approved recently within the last couple months, I guess. So that it gives us the opportunity to have an officer in each of our elementary schools. So these positions are fully funded by the town. It is something that we are so happy to have because we love our schools and we really want to take care of our kids. And we've done a pretty good job of that. I mean, we would get out at the schools, but we couldn't dedicate somebody to that. So now we have that opportunity. And so that brought us up to 65 positions, and we are actually almost fully staffed with the people that we have hired that have just started, and we have one person that is in basic law enforcement training now that has a conditional officer. He'll start in September. That makes us fully staffed. And honestly, I think that's happened one other time since I've been here that we have been fully staffed.
That's incredible.
There were times that we were down 12 officers, and when you're down 12 officers, that's critical for our agency. So that's and again, that goes back to a lot of credit to the town for raising helping with the salaries and things like that, and giving us a better environment for officers that want to come in and money's not everything, but it is something.
Absolutely.
So you want to get the good people, the right people, and that's helped us do that.
Yeah, we've created a very attractive environment for officers to come into, it seems like. And I know we've faced some staffing challenges in the past couple of years, but it's really nice to see us coming back from that. We'll be right back after another brief message from our sponsors. Again, you're listening to About Town.
There's more About Town with Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam on the way from the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Local news and weather now on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC. News Talk Now.
I'm Mike Jackson, WSIC News. The Iredell County Board of Commissioners on Tuesday approved a budget amendment for $11,425 that will fund hazardous materials training for first responders. The Homeland Security Grant funds will pay for a portion of upcoming training. Iredell County will use the grant funds to offset the cost in conjunction with other municipalities for a class for Statesville and Mooresville hazmat teams. And WNCN reporting that new mental health resources are coming to NC State University's campus. Monica Osborne, director of NC State's Counseling Center, says some of the new resources they launched includes a peer support platform called Together All, which she says is used nationwide for peer support services. Now sports with Joe Berg.
The PGA Tour tees off from the Olympia Fields North Course for the BMW Championship. Tomorrow, the Panthers have their second preseason game as they take on the New York Giants.
WSIC weather, sunshine today with a high of 87, clear with a low of 66 tonight, sunny Friday, the high 88, sunny Saturday and Sunday, the high Saturday 86, and Sunday's high 90. Mike Jackson, WSIC News.
Folks, you know it's hot outside. Randy Marion Chevrolet in Statesville and Randy Marion Ford Lincoln. We have got the hot deals to go with the hot temperatures. How about a special lease buyout? Fleet buyout of a 2018, 2019, 2020 Chevrolet Equinoxes and Ford Escapes starting at $11,880. That's right, over 30 in stock, $11,880. You pick the color, pick the one you want, drive it home today. Randy Marion Chevrolet in Statesville right on I-40. Randy Marion Ford Lincoln right on I-77. Come see us today.
Whatever the story,
we have to end our dependence on China.
Have your say.
This debt crisis is going to set our economy back big time.
This is WSIC News Talk Now.
Hi, this is Susan. I'm excited to let you know that Lake Mountain Coffee is now available for private events. Our beautiful historic building with its 360-degree mezzanine has hosted many private parties, catered diners, and even an actual wedding. Please contact Andy at 704-252-1886 for more information. Thank you so much.
Join your friends from Oswald Baptist Church in Troutman, Sunday mornings at 8:30 on WSIC. Be informed and inspired with teachings from the Word of God by Pastor Wesley Morris. Sunday mornings at 8:30 on WSIC.
WSIC Sports Director Joe Berg here. NASCAR Cup Series races are back on WSIC. Catch every race of the season right here on your home for NASCAR, News Talk WSIC.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
When a cold comes on strong, knock it out with Vicks DayQuil Severe for max strength daytime relief. Just one dose of Vicks DayQuil Severe starts to relieve 9 of your worst cold and flu symptoms to help take you from 9 to none. Power through your day with Vicks DayQuil Severe, the daytime non-drowsy, coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, 9 to none medicine. Use as directed.
This is North Carolina Senator Vicki Sawyer. Join me on Fridays at 11 a.m. for our show, We're Just Saying. We'll discuss state and local politics, and as always, take your calls here on News Talk WSIC.
It's About Town with Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
All right, welcome. Welcome back to About Town, typically hosted by Mayor Woody Washam. My name is MaeLynn Joyner, and I'm the communications manager for the town filling in today. Got two special guests with me, Lieutenant Vaughn Griffin and Captain Steve Davis. we were just hooting and hollering about Lieutenant Griffin's history with McDonald's as a line cook there.
Well, what happened was
we still have a few
hospitality. It was the hospitality.
If that's what we want to call it.
I've learned about Vaughn that you have to really look into everything he says.
It seems like it.
Check and recheck, yes.
Right. Well, before the last break, we were just talking about the new SROs that will be implemented at our elementary schools. And you said we have 2 of those positions coming into play?
2 of the, that would give us a total of 4 SROs. That would give one at Huff High, one at MaeLynn Middle School, and one at J.V. Washam, and one at Cornelius Elementary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that was all approved in the last fiscal year 2024 budget. Were there any other significant improvements that came for the police department in that budget?
So I'm trying to think. I can't think of anything right off the top of my head. I don't.
That was the most significant that we had taken place.
Yeah,
absolutely. I know that's a big one for our community. We do want our kids to feel safe, and we want our parents to feel comfortable.
Right.
With the environments that their kids are learning in. I know Chief Baucom has also mentioned some new digital forensic tools that'll be coming along in this fiscal year. So it looks like great improvements all around for the department. And I'm really happy for you guys that you're able to continue making these improvements, year over year. So SROs are just one position that a police officer can serve in with our department. What are some of the other divisions and units that officers are divided into?
So I'll take this, Vaughn.
You got that.
So the police department is basically divided into 2 different divisions. You have field operations and support services. Field operations essentially is patrol. We have 2 platoons on patrol. Each platoon has 2 squads. And you have a lieutenant, a sergeant, a corporal, and 4 officers, 5 officers.
4 or 5.
4, and that's field operations, and that's what I'm over field operations. Lieutenant Griffin is a commander of 1st platoon.
Yes.
Over the 2 sergeants.
The best platoon over the 2.
It sounds very impressive.
So that's what he said. I have some stuff to go over with you after this. Anyway, and then we have our support services division, which really is everything else, and it's a lot, to be honest. It covers communications, it covers animal control, the school resource, community policing, lake and traffic divisions.
Our admin staff as well.
Admin staff, the recruiting, crime reduction unit that we have. So there's a lot on that side. Each division has a smaller number of people. They're kind of about the same amount as far as numbers go, but essentially it's divided into those 2 divisions.
Okay, and just to be clear, the communications within the police department is telecommunications. I am not the manager of
the
police
communications. And when I say communications, North Mecklenburg, 911 emergency communications. If you're in the town of Cornelius and you call 911, that call is going to go to our police department. And if it has to go to medic or fire, then they will transfer you to the appropriate division.
That's a very unique position for our town to be in, because not a lot of small towns or towns our size can say that they have their own dispatch center. And it definitely, I feel like, expedites the process of getting first responders to where they need to go.
It absolutely does. Absolutely. It's local. There's a lot of advantages to us having our own communication center, and it's been something that's been very important to, it's important to Chief Baucom, it's been important to past chiefs that we maintain our communication center here. That gives us a better opportunity to serve the community.
I'll piggyback on that too, because we are very community focused, but it's funny to see, even when I became a police officer then, even the communications team that's in there now, the ladies and gentlemen that's serving in that, are part of this community. They are just as invested in the community as we are, and it's great to see that they are all in when it comes to answering the calls for service, getting dispatch out to the officers promptly. It's great to see that.
Absolutely, and every call is just important as the last. I'm sure no matter what the subject matter of it is, you never know exactly how urgent it is, and so for our dispatchers, it's the most critical thing in the world to make sure that people get service as quickly as possible.
Absolutely.
And for it to be in town and serviced by people who are residents of town or part of the community, you know the local roads like the back of your hand.
Absolutely.
Our officers do too, because they patrol them on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
And so with all these divisions and units that people serve in, that officers serve in, I bet some people are wondering, how safe is Cornelius? If we need all these units and divisions and different specialties for officers to be in.
Well, overall, if I would safe, very safe. We can't say that we don't have our issues from time to time. The things that we see more than anything are property crimes. That's our biggest issue that we deal with a lot. Frauds, but car break-ins. Car break-ins is something that happens in Cornelius. It happens in Huntersville. It happens in Davidson. It happens in Charlotte. It happens in every jurisdiction deals with car break-ins. And I don't know that that'll ever go away. If you lock your doors, don't leave things in your car where people can see it. We get a lot of cars that are entered that are unlocked. I would say that predominantly most of the car break-ins we have are unlocked vehicles. We do have those that are where a window is busted, but typically that's because there's a pocketbook laying there. There's something inside it. We have a program that we push. It's called HALT.
Isn't it Habit now?
Habit.
Yeah.
Habit.
Yeah.
What does HABIT stand for, Vaughn?
Halt Auto Break-ins Today.
I have my notes. I wanted Vaughn to answer that.
Sorry, Vaughn, take it away.
I wanted to see if he was actually
channeling my inner officer. That's what I was doing.
Let me just add that to my notes. But that's something. If it's simple, but if we could just get people to lock their car and take everything out, I think that would go a long way to combating those car break-ins, that property crimes that we have.
Yeah, and you're right, that does happen everywhere. I live down in Charlotte, and I had my car broken into 2-3 years ago, something like that. Thankfully, the person who broke into my car was wearing an ankle monitor, so they were able to find him pretty quickly.
They found your house, Davis, pretty quickly then. That's good.
It would be nice if everybody had one of those on when they did such a thing, but it is good to hear that we live in a fairly safe town, and it's very reassuring to know that all of our officers are as invested as the next into keeping our town, especially safe. What different divisions have each of you served in? I know that you said that you're a captain with, what was it?
Field operations.
Field operations now. But in your career, what are the different divisions or units that you've served in?
All of them.
All of them?
With the exception of communications. I've been in every division as a officer or supervisor. In every division.
Any fun stories from your time?
I can't.
I can't say any of those.
I will give. So one of the things that that the past chiefs have done, and Chief Balcom is continuing this, is we are doing a lieutenant rotation. And eventually it'll go down to sergeants, but you have 2 years. Lieutenant Griffin is over first platoon now, but starting in September, he's going to rotate and he'll be over our lake and traffic unit. So he'll have an opportunity to spend some time with that unit or that division, and you learn how they operate and things like that. And then 2 years he'll rotate maybe to sports services or where he'll have experience there. It makes you a better, gives you a better ability, I guess, to manage when you go up in rank, because you have experience in these different divisions. So you're not trying to supervise a lake unit and you don't know anything about the lake unit or how it operates or anything like that. So it may not be that you become an expert in one particular field, but you know how it operates. So I think that's a great idea to do that.
No, that's an exceptional program, and I'm glad to hear that our police department is implementing it, because when you think about individuals and their career trajectories and you want to build people into great leaders, you need to make sure that they understand who it is that they're leading. So getting your feet on the ground and learning about all these different operations that the police department performs is critical to making sure that our future leaders are as capable as the last.
Absolutely.
I concur with what both of you just said.
Are you excited for your new rotation?
I am. I can't wait for it to happen.
He's really not. He says that, but he's not.
He's quaking right now in case you can't see him. All right, well, we're going to cut to another quick break, but you're listening to About Town.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Asheville native Kanan Cox is performing Friday, August 25th at Kane Center for the Arts. Get your tickets while they last. Show starts at 8 p.m. Visit canearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. richardscoffeeshop.org. Want to showcase your music skills? Richard's Coffee Shop and Military Museum in downtown Mooresville has their music jam sessions every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to noon. Richard's Coffee Shop, located in downtown Mooresville. For more info, visit welcomevets.com. Ever dreamed of seeing Freddie Mercury and Queen live? Absolute Queen, a Queen tribute, will be playing at Boatyard Eats in Cornelius Friday, August 18th. Tickets are $20 online. Enjoy live music and at a fun venue. Absolute Queen, Friday night at Boatyard Eats in Cornelius. To buy tickets, visit boatyardlkn.com. Ever wonder what Mooresville was like in 1873? The historic downtown walking tour is a self-guided tour that will take you on a stroll through Mooresville's past to learn about the history of the town. Featuring 18 stops, the tour begins and ends at the corner of Main Street and Center Avenue. It should take 1 hour to complete. For more info, visit downtownmooresville.com. What would it be like to play glow stick bingo? Come check out the Bingo Glow Party at the Statesville Civic Center. Tuesday, August 22nd, doors open at 6 p.m. All games will be played under blacklight. Glow stick bingo at the Statesville Civic Center. For more info, visit civiccenter.statesvillenc.net. Have an event you'd like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
I'm Holly Vale with your WSIC forecast. Mostly sunny today with a high near 87. Tonight looks mostly clear with a low around 66. Friday looks sunny with a high near 87. And mostly cleared skies for Friday night with a low around 62. We'll have sunny skies for Saturday with a high near 85. And clear skies for Saturday night with a low around 64. Sunny and 91 for Sunday. I'm Holly Vale from WSIC's Weather Center.
Call now to speak with Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam at 844-STUDIO-4. It's About Town on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Article that right. It's the same thing. 3 followers. Okay.
Welcome back to About Town. I'm your guest host, MaeLynn Joyner, Communications Manager for the town of Cornelius, here with Captain Steve Davis and Lieutenant Vaughn Griffin.
I like
Thanks
guest
for tuning
host.
in. Assistant guest host.
Yeah, guest host of the guest host.
Guest host of the guest
He
host.
mans them. He loves titles.
It sounds like it. We'll work on those. We'll workshop those after this is all over. Yeah, but we were just talking about safety in Cornelius, and it seems like we have a pretty safe town thanks to the diligent work of our police department. And I was just wondering, since there are so many advancements in the technology that we're implementing, in the staff that we're bringing on, what are your expectations or hopes for the department in years to come? Especially as somebody who's seen so much of it.
Yeah, so I hope that we continue on this path we're on right now. I think, anytime you have, Chief Balcom just coming in January, I think anytime you have a new change in leadership, you're always it's going to bring something with it. And a lot of times it's something good. It's different and it's good. And Chief Balcom has absolutely came into this position with a lot of expectations and a lot of, we're pushing leadership like we've never done it before. And which is great because we need to be training these young officers because they're our future leaders. And we can't wait until they get rank.
I believe that children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead. I'm sorry.
You auditioning for Miss America over there? That's a great answer.
But going back to the being serious about things, leadership is super important, and we're pushing leadership now. The family strong concept. I hope that we continue with that. The community policing, there's no doubt in my mind that that's gonna always be here. I would like to see at some point that we use our patrol officers and they do a lot of community policing. I mean, I hear stories where, hey, I was playing basketball and 2-year officer stopped, and we don't even know that. They just do it. Yeah. So there's things that these guys do that we don't even know about, and again, that's kind of what sets us apart. They just do this.
Well, they were collecting shopping carts the other week.
So, I mean, they do things without being told, without being given instruction. They just do it.
And they don't want the glory of
They
it. They're
do
not
at
expecting
all.
it. Thank
and
you.
that is what we have. Such a great group of guys right now. I am so impressed with who we've got. So I hope nobody leaves, and I hope that everybody, we continue down the path we're on now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to continue to foster that sense of community that we've always had, and we need to keep that going. We need the community's help in doing that too. And these partnerships are important throughout the community. We don't know when we're going to come in contact with anybody at the PD, or PD. It could be at the gas station or the grocery store or a call for service, but we'll always have that personal interaction and that connection with our community. We hope to continue that as the years go on.
And that's great. And I work pretty closely with Parks and Recreation, and so I've been to a few of their special events, and it's always so nice to see officers there. And I know you're there for safety purposes, but it also feels like you're there to engage with residents.
Yes.
You really want to see people and be seen by people and let them know that you're there as a resource no matter what the trouble is. It's not just that something terrible needs to be happening, but also if you, just need help with anything, a flat tire. I've had officers stop and help me fix a flat tire before, and that's very kind of them.
Yes.
I can do it on my own, I promise. But
Yeah, so the community policing concept is essentially based around it's everybody's responsibility. Crime prevention is everybody's responsibility. Back in when law enforcement really became organized in England, and I can't tell you the year, but Sir Robert Peel was tasked. Yeah, Sir Robert Peel was. Sir Robert Peel was tasked with creating the first organized law enforcement agency in England, and he came up with I think 12 principles on how this should go. And it's one of them was there needs to be precincts. The community needs to have access to the law enforcement agency. That's why you have in the larger cities you have different precincts that are in different areas. But one of his principles that he came up, and I'm paraphrasing when I say this, but essentially. The police are the public, and the public are the police. The police are just members of our society that are being paid to give full attention to the duties that are incumbent on each of us. So we all have the responsibility. A police officer is just somebody who gets paid to do it full time.
It's your job, but it's everyone's duty.
Right. Yeah. So a police officer is a person just like anybody else, and so we. I love when people come up and talk to me. I love when people ask me questions. It's great just to have that conversation. I know some people don't think you can talk to a police officer.
Right.
Yeah. I promise all of you out there listening or watching, our police officers are not scary.
Yeah, I mean, we love that interaction.
They are when they need to be.
Love that interaction. Love that conversation. Love questions.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I had another question. I lost my train of thought. So you know all about police history. And you were mentioning...
Well, yeah, he's kind of history, yeah.
You're mentioning a few of the fun artifacts that we have at the police department or have had. Do you want to talk about either of those?
So we... I don't know. I guess I will.
maybe
I don't
just
know if I want to. But, so we have... so as I got into this history and stuff, I really kind of dove into it and learning things and looking for things. And we were, Chief Balcom and I were down at our new Public Works, which talking with Ricky Overcash, who's our Public Works Supervisor, I guess is his title. And we were talking about things. I was looking for something, a piece of plywood or something. I'm not going to get into that story, but we were talking about things, and Ricky's like, "Yeah, we got these bars back here," and I had seen some iron bars, for lack of a better word, leaning in the back wall, and I thought it was part of a fence or something. We'll come to find out those were the bars that covered the holding cell from the old police department, were from the 50s.
Wow.
And those bars were actually taken off of those windows, and we've had them for years and years and years and didn't even know we had them. Yeah. So that's the part of the history that we are keeping. I'm working on. I've got a picture of a past chief in front of one of the patrol cars, which is about a 1950. 51 Ford, as so I'm told, and I would really like to get a replica and fix it up and have it as for parades as a part of history, because again, like we were talking earlier, history is just something that's people don't really care as much about, and I just want to preserve it as much as I can.
Well, I think for a lot of people, you forget about it unless you see it. And
Right.
So to have some of that in front of our residents would be really nice, just as a reminder of how far we've come in years past. We're coming towards the end of our show here, and I'm sad to say that we are. But how are some ways that residents can get involved with the Cornelius Police Department? Are there any programs that residents can enroll in to get to know a little bit more about you guys and what you do?
Yeah, so currently we're hosting a Citizens Academy. It's open up for applications now. It'll start in September. And I'm not sure if there's any openings now if they've got it full. That is a great program. If you want to really kind of see what policing is and how it is, the Citizens Academy is a great opportunity for that, because you get 12 weeks. I'm pretty sure it's 12 weeks. Every Tuesday, one Tuesday every week. And you get about 3 hours where you go in and you learn about every division. You learn how we do things, and it's interactive. Great opportunity for people to kind of come in and just really be able to see, but engage with officers.
It's like the behind the scenes type stuff. And we love it. The best part about it for me is just engaging with the people, because you get to know that community outside the community and what they do and what they see as being interesting to us, and what they thought they knew about us they really didn't know. So to kind of explain that to them and kind of give them that concept of, hey, this is what happens and this is what goes on behind the scenes, they love that type of stuff too.
Yeah, I think it sheds a lot of light on the work that you do, because so much of it seems so intense when all you've seen is, the television shows about being a police officer, and you think everything is just scary and intimidating. But a lot of it is just really logistical. A lot of it is very analytical, and you guys put in great work every single day to make sure that, you either prevent crimes or capture them.
Thank you, MaeLynn. Thank you, MaeLynn. I appreciate that. Yes.
Some of us more than others.
Yeah. Are there any other ways that people can get involved? I know you host an annual summer camp, right?
Yeah. So we do summer camps for we do a lake camp. We do a crime scene camp for elementary and for high school as well. We have different programs where we have.
The bike camp as well, or no? I'm sorry.
The bike camp, yes. Bike camp is one that actually just happened last week.
It looks like a fun one.
Yeah.
I saw the pictures on Facebook.
Yeah. We have a national night out every year, which is great for interaction. We have opportunities within the department. We have a volunteer program where people can actually come in and volunteer to help out, and we can eat a number of different things. We have one volunteer. Went through our first Citizens Academy. We have David and Diane Rochester, who went to the academy, and they both came, and I can't tell you how many thousands of hours that they have put in.
Invaluable amount of hours.
Oh,
it's
incredible.
Crazy.
Incredible. They have done so much. Just a little. Dave does a lot with our vehicles, and both of them have just given so much back to the police department. It's been great, and that's an opportunity that people can have if they wanted to come in and go through and be a part of the volunteer program. We also have a ride-along program. So if you're a citizen in Cornelius, you can request to ride along, and you just sign a waiver, and you can ride with a police officer for 2-3 hours, and just kind of get an idea of you're out there patrolling the zone just like the officer is. So that's a lot of fun too.
Well, you heard it here first. Sign up for a ride along with the Cornelius Police Department, Citizens Academy.
Where do I sign up for that at?
I think you already did, and they pay you to do it.
Well, we pay him.
I come in each day.
It's better than McDonald's.
I will tell you, I go by his office every day, and his door's open, and his little light is on under his desk every day. And I'm like, Vaughn is dedicated. I'm like, Vaughn just wants me. He
open door
wants
policy.
people to think he's here.
I have an open door policy. That's all.
Right. Well, thank you to Captain Steve Davis and Lieutenant Vaughn Griffin for joining me today on About Town, and thank you all for listening. Just a couple quick reminders: we have a food truck Friday tomorrow at Smithville Park, back to school bash on Saturday at James Hoyt Wilhelm, and check the town's social media today for a special Greenway surprise. Thank you for listening to About Town. I'm MaeLynn Joyner.
The new 105.9 100.7